proportion problems. We did this a little bit in our Shark Tank work yesterday or last week, and now we're going to do it with some other real-world problems. We're going to use this thing called cross products, and it is what it sounds. It's cross, so we go across. And products is multiply. So we are multiplying across, basically. And for example, if you have something that is 2 over 5 and 4 over 10, we're going to make a cross. So these two are across from each other, and these two are across from each other. So on one side, we have the 2 and the 10. On the other side, we have the 5 and the 4. Now this will only work if there's one on top of the other on both sides. So then if we simplify, we can see that the equation is true. So that's a good way to check it. So this is the cross products property. And you'll want to remember this. So we say AB equals CD, then AD equals BC, because we crossed A and D and C and B. And note that B cannot equal 0 because it's on the bottom, as well as D cannot equal 0 because it is on the bottom. So box this, remember that, and let's try this with an example. So if the problem says you pay $40 for 8 t-shirts at a store, we can set that up as $40 over 8 shirts equals, and then it says given that the cost of t-shirts is directly proportional to the number of t-shirts you buy, you can use proportionality to find the cost of 5 shirts. So if we say 5 shirts here, this is the thing we don't know, so we could just say $y, just put a value there. Now if we cross and we do these two, one side becomes $40 times 5 shirts, and that's going to be equal to the other side, which is $y in 8 shirts. So now we want to put this into, without all the extra symbols and values there, our equation is going to be 40 times 5 equals y times 8. So we just want to get y alone and find out what it is. So we divide this side by 8, divide that side by 8, and that's going to mean that y equals 40 times 5 divided by 8. 40 times 5 divided by 8 is 25. So y equals 25. So now we know that the cost of 5 t-shirts, $25. Okay? You could also do it another way where you're finding the direct proportion of equation. Remember, direct proportion is equal to y over x is equal to k. So you're going to want to remember that. So if it says find the direct proportion, or this, constant of proportionality. This is the constant proportionality. These two are directly proportional. So in order to find that, all you'd have to do is put the number of shirts over the cost of the shirts. So let's say y over x, y equals number of shirts, x equals cost of shirts. So we could do it 2 ways. We could say, okay, number of shirts is 5, cost of shirts is 25. That is going to oops, I got that mixed up. X is the number of shirts. Y is the cost of the shirts. Because here we put for Y, that was the cost of the shirts. So Y over X, cost of the shirts, equals 25 over how many shirts? 5 equals 5. That is the constant of proportionality. You could also do it with the other numbers, 40 and 8. And here you could say the same thing, that it is equal to 5. Constant proportionality is the same no matter what the numbers inside are. Example 8 says, Belle works at a convenience store. The amount of money she earns is directly proportional to the number of hours she works. She is paid $432 for 18 hours. So how much is she paid for 21 hours? Okay, we're going to put dollars Y because Y is on top. So to find Y, we can cross, and it becomes 432 times 21 is equal to 18 times Y. Let's get rid of the 18. These cancel. Solving for this side, Y is going to be equal to 504. So for this 18 hours, she gets paid $504 for 18 hours. Okay? You could also do this where you find the constant of proportionality from the numbers you already know. And remember, Y is going to be the number, it's the one, or no, X is going to be the number, it's the one on the bottom, the hours. So we already know that, this is 21 hours. Okay, we know that for 18 hours, 18 is X. It's $432. Our constant proportionality equals 24, which is K. So now that we know our constant proportionality, we can use the equation Y equals Kx, and we don't know Y, but we know X, so we could put in 24, and then 21 is our X, so we could put in 21, and that is going to be equal to 504 as well, which is the same thing. So 2 ways to do it. Try that on guided practice 1. Example 9 says, solve a direct proportion problem from the table. So we have given a table, and we're trying to find, first of all, the direct proportion. So to find the direct proportion, simply all you do is put Y over, or the constant proportionality, which is K, equals Y over X. So in our table here, we see that P and C, we want something to relate those two. So we could say, instead of Y and X, we're going to say P and C. So in our first part, in the first part of the graph, P is 600 and C is 15, and so that equals 40. That's our constant proportionality. Now let's put that into the equation. Y equals Kx, which we're going to translate to P equals 40C, because this is our k here. So put that there, multiplied by c, and that's our equation. Now it says find the missing values in the table. So for the next one, we know p is going to be equal to 1,000. So then what is c? Well, if we have this formula, all we have to do is put this into the formula. So p is 1,000 equals 40c. Now let's get rid of the 40 on both sides because that cancels. And we'll divide these out. And so c then becomes 25. So 25 will go into the number of crates here. Now the next one, we know c equals 56. P is unknown. So if we put that into the equation, P equals 40 times 56, which means that P is equal to 2,240. Try that on Guided Practice 2. Okay, example 10, direct proportion problem involving percent. So the regular price of a phone was $228. Its price was marked down by $45.60. It's use proportion to find out the percent discount. So X will be percent discount. Let's draw this out to see what we're working with. So this is going to be, the whole thing will be 100%, which happens to be our original $228. Now we're trying to figure out, okay, the percent discount. So how much was taken off? Well, if this is what we're going to pay, this is the discount. So we know the discount already. The discount is $45.60. What we don't know is the percent. So we know this and this and this and this. And if they all relate, we can put them into a proportion. So kind of like we did with the valuation thing, you could put 100% over 228. It doesn't really matter which one you put on top as long as you do the same one on both. Okay? X%. So as long as the dollar values are both on the bottom, percents are on the top. You could do it the other way too. Okay, now we're going to cross. So 228x equals 100 times 45.60. Divide both sides by 228. These cancel. X is going to be equal to 100 times 45.60 divided by 228, which equals 20. So therefore, percent discount is 20%. Okay? Another way you could do it is you could do it based on the ratios of the two things. And ratios is going to be similar to setting up one like this. It just begins like X% is proportional to 100% as 45.60% is proportional to 228. But it's set, this proportion is set up as a fraction. So 2 ways to do it. Try Guided Practice 3.